What is going on, wrestling fans? Welcome back. It's your boy UnrealNetwork, and today we're going to be sharing our thoughts and predictions in pertains to Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar at WWE's Great Balls of Fire. My God, Great Balls of Fire sounds like such a horrible name. It is a horrible name. So I want to go on ahead and establish the booking situation between Joe and Brock, and having to keep Samoa Joe protected, but also making the match believable in the idea that Samoa Joe does in fact have a chance to defeat Brock Lesnar for the title. Now, many people out there, including those who are in favor of Brock Lesnar, agree that with Brock Lesnar having to be absent from the main roster and not defending his championship is a detriment to the overall company as a whole. And personally for me, I am looking forward to this match just because I used to follow Samoa Joe's career in TNA. I used to also follow his career when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling and having to wrestle Misawa and having to wrestle Angle. And Samoa Joe had amazing matches through his run in professional wrestling, and now having to, step up to the biggest obstacle, I think, which is, Brock Lesnar. I think that this match is going to be one of those smash mouth style matches where you're not going to expect to see lots of chain wrestling or any sort of like in-ring psychology. It's going to be a war, and I think prior to that, it's going to be very, very awesome to see how WWE treats this, because the rumor has it that the winner of this match is actually supposed to be Brock Lesnar, as they're going to be building ultimately enough for Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the championship, in which Roman Reigns is supposed to go over and beat Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania. That was the original plan. Now, I think that with that being said, it's a horrible idea in having to wait all the way for WrestleMania to see Roman Reigns defeat Brock Lesnar for the title, having to build that feud in which has been established ever since the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. We can already, just place the seeds to seeing that in the near future. But in terms of Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar, I really hope that with this match having to be set in stone, I do think that in my humble prediction, I think Brock Lesnar is going to walk out still your Universal Champion, unless they decide to add in a couple of twists and turns. I think that overall, as a whole, it'll be awesome to see, this match go about 20-30 minutes long. Of course, I think that overall, having to look at it, it's probably not going to be a long match at all, in which that may actually hurt Joe. But as a whole, I can definitely see WWE favoring Brock Lesnar for this one, only because they want to build up to SummerSlam, they want to build up to Survivor Series, WrestleMania, events like that. So to the indie fan that loves Samoa Joe and that's been following Joe throughout the years, of course they want Joe to win. I mean, personally for me, if you were to ask me, I would love to see Samoa Joe beat Brock Lesnar. Even though I am a huge Brock Lesnar fan, I would love to see Samoa Joe take the title from Brock and thus setting up a rematch at SummerSlam. However, with WWE's current plan, I don't see that as being the case. I can definitely see Samoa Joe having to get far enough, but I do think that the overall setup is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania. And for this match, what I'm predicting is some sort of screwy finish. I really can't see Samoa Joe pretty much doing the JOB. I think that with Triple H wanting to protect the NXT talent, with his differences with Vince McMahon, I think that they're going to have to protect Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe is going to be a key part of Monday Night Raw going into the future, and they need to, to protect and, support Samoa Joe's credibility as a competitor going into his match with Brock Lesnar, and not having to get, thrown around so easily and having to get beat up like the way he did with various others. But I think that with, Samoa Joe's display with Misawa and, his matches with Angle and stuff, I mean, this match could work. So my prediction is, I think Brock Lesnar is going to retain the title. I think that it's going to be some sort of screwy finish, and I don't think that Samoa Joe is going to job out to Brock Lesnar in a way to where it's going to be a clean finish. However, I do also think that there might be some sort of build-up if you want to sustain the credibility of both wrestlers in having them have a rematch at SummerSlam. But of course, with that being said, we don't know the overall direction in what they're going to do in terms of going into SummerSlam. But I would like to get your thoughts down below on Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar and who you guys believe should be the rightful victor of the match, because for me, I think that Samoa Joe having to beat Brock Lesnar, it is a very unpredictable manner to go about, and I think that it'll be something to where it'll shock the fans, because everyone and their mothers right now are expecting to see Brock Lesnar beat Samoa Joe. But if they throw in an angle to where Samoa Joe wins by some chance, or something happens to where Joe picks up the victory, I think that it'll add more depth to their feud. But judging based on the dirt sheets, judging based on Dave Meltzer, everyone is reporting that Brock Lesnar is going, in fact, to win. And to me, that's just, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Brock Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar in the ring. Even though he has gotten lazy, and that's very apparent due to his work, I still think that the match overall will be a smash mouth, style of match. I definitely expect to see lots of suplexes, I think, from both parties, and the idea that I think that Samoa Joe is going to get the better of Brock Lesnar. I just think that don't expect to see any muscle busters. You can expect the Coquina clutch, but if Samoa Joe is going to pull that off, you can expect to see the Kimura lock be applied by Brock Lesnar on Samoa Joe. And again, I've always been a fan of Brock Lesnar's work. I just don't agree in the overall direction in keeping him as the champion for a year as the original plan goes about. So I don't think that Brock being champion for that long will do the title any justice, because having to look at it, I think that they ought to just do something more with that title just to give it more credibility and just make the title seem believable as being the title. But I would like to know your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to go on ahead and leave a like down below. Give me your overall thoughts and predictions, guys, going into Great Balls of Fire with Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar. What are your overall expectations? What do you guys want to see? I would like to know down below. It's going to be a very interesting match. I personally loved and enjoyed Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle, because even during the days of TNA, that feud was still really, really awesome. So having to see what Samoa Joe did with Kurt Angle and whatnot, it's bound to reflect on this match. That is, of course, if Brock Lesnar does not want to be lazy enough into going into this match, because Brock Lesnar does have a history of performing and putting on lazy matches and whatnot. So I think this match in particular is not going to be one of those Dean Ambrose WrestleMania matches to where Brock isn't going to try, which in fact I do think that Brock Lesnar is going to put on a good performance, if not a great performance, if the match has enough build up with Raw and whatnot. But for me personally enough, I think that by the end of it, Brock Lesnar is going to walk away still your WWE Universal Champion, and they're going to build that up into possibly having Brock versus Finn Balor at some point. Even though that match doesn't seem believable enough, I think that down the line they're gonna do that just to give like sort of like a crowd pleaser. And for WrestleMania, I'm predicting that it's gonna be Lesnar versus Reigns for the title. Whether or not you guys agree or disagree, it's entirely up to you. But again, thank you all for watching. As always, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, guys. Peace.